And now, News 4's Weather Extra with meteorologist Ryan Duggar.
April Fools! I hope I got you at home. Don't worry, I'm still here. While David's off on assignment, I've been taking over Weather Extra for, or I will be taking over Weather Extra for this week, but don't worry, I've got my trusty buzzer, and you know, you gotta buzz it for April Fools. Definitely a very fun day and very warm day as well. But, you know, for the first day of April, we have to look back at what March brought us. And I asked meteorologist Zach Webster to take a look at the temperatures and the rainfall that we saw last month.
We saw gradually warmer temperatures settle into the region throughout the month of March, as we're used to seeing as you close out winter and head into the start of spring. The coldest low temperature that we saw through the month was on the morning of Friday, March 21st, when that low temperature dropped to 34 degrees. Our average low for the month, 48.5 degrees. That is just barely below normal for what we see in the month of March. High temperatures for the month. Our warmest day was on Saturday, March 15th, where that high temperature reached 84 degrees. Then we saw a few more of those 80s as we moved through the second half of the month. The average high 73.5 degrees, a little bit above normal, a little over a half a degree above normal. Rainfall, unfortunately, below normal once again. We came up just shy of 4 inches of rain for the month, putting us a little under an inch below normal. That unfortunately also makes the 6th month in a row where we've seen below normal rainfall out at the airport in Dothan. That's dating all the way back to October of last year.
Still lacking that rainfall. We need as much of it as we can get, and that makes the 6th month in a row. And so hopefully some of these April showers that everyone talks about can really close out that deficit. But I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about the reason behind fog. We've always been talking about it, but with it being more prevalent this week, let's talk about the reasons behind it. Really, temperatures throughout our area are right now around the lower 70s. A few places starting to dip into the 60s, like Geneva at 69 degrees, but they will continue down to around the middle to upper 60s overnight, and that's really where our dew points are kind of lying right now here. And so what that means is once those temperatures are really close to the dew points, that allows for the air to be saturated, and that can develop fog throughout much of a region. And we're likely going to be seeing that for tomorrow morning. Some areas can even see dense fog as you're making your way out the door. And so just be aware of that, especially on your morning commute, wherever you've got to go. And that's exactly why I actually developed a little bit of these guidelines that you can take as you're making your way out the door. The best thing is to drive slowly and cautiously, just to be on the road and not really trying to make any sudden moves or turns, especially if you have to turn somewhere, and turn the headlights on to low beam fog lights. I know it's tempting, and I've been tempted before, where you can't really see, so you're wanting to put the highlights on, and that will actually spread the light even farther. It'll actually really dampen your view ahead. Maintaining a safe following distance with cars ahead. Luckily, if they got their brights on, you should be able to see their brake lights come on as well, but just be sure in case they have to stop suddenly and you can't really see it, you have a lot of space to keep in between the other cars in front of you. Keep the lanes of the road in sight. And what I mean by that is the lanes that are either yellow or white. As you're driving, sometimes, especially if the fog is really dense, it can be hard to see the road ahead of you. But if you take a look to the left or bottom left of your windshield, you can see those lines that help you to say, okay, I'm still within my lane. I'm not blending into anybody else's path as well. And definitely keep those lanes in sight. Also, keep the car's windshield and windows clear. And it's best to try to match the temperature within your car as it is outside. That way, the water that is all over the place in the air during fog doesn't try to condense on your windshield as well. So use those guidelines as you're heading out to work tomorrow, and that'll help you stay safe as you're on the road. But once we come back from the break, we're actually going to be taking a look at the confirmed tornado that we saw pass through Dothan yesterday, and also take a look at the potentially severe weather that we could see for this weekend.
And now, News 4's Weather Extra.
Welcome back to Weather Extra. You know, we enjoyed a very calm and warm day for Tuesday, but just yesterday, of course, we saw showers and thunderstorms pass through our area, and some of those definitely packed some heavy wind gusts, and even, now we can say, at least one tornado. And actually, I wanted to take a look back at this. If you tuned in last night, I was showing off this potential track or suspected tornado track from what we saw yesterday. If it was a confirmed tornado, I likely put that track close to Dothan Prep Academy where we saw that roof damage and throughout parts of the circle as it made its way towards Southeast Health Medical Center. But the National Weather Service has now done some surveys and has confirmed that it was a tornado that passed through parts of Dothan and actually started a little bit farther to the west and made its way through 231, likely close to, or touchdown close to Rinson Road, and then made its way throughout the circle, likely lifting just before it reached Southeast Health Medical Center. And this uprooted trees, snapped trees and power lines, and damaged many homes and businesses as it made its way through. And you can kind of see here, Dothan Prep was actually just a little bit farther to the south of the tornado, but that doesn't mean its effects and its winds couldn't have lifted the roof like we saw. So this was definitely a destructive tornado. Only lasted 4 minutes on the ground as well. So just proof that these kinds of storms can be on the strong side. It's best to be pretty aware of them as they make their way through. But now we're going to be watching out for the chance for rain over the next few days into this weekend, I should say. The Mid-South will likely see more of this rain over the next several days, but then this energy pushes in, likely by late Sunday into early Monday morning. That's a look at the Euro model, and the GFS is pretty close to that setup as well. So the timing is looking pretty good for this, likely late Saturday into early Sunday. But let's take a look at the setup. Low-level jets, those upper-level winds, not seeing much anywhere. There could be some in the upper atmosphere, but nothing in terms of really impressive. Now, the energy is still here, a little bit more of that farther to the southeast. There can be some underlying energy throughout our area, but once the radar makes its way through for early Monday morning, that rain is arriving a little bit late according to this model, and it could only use that minimal energy. So with this, if this was to verify, likely going to be seeing thunderstorms packing lightning and heavy wind gusts, but in terms of tornadic potential, it's on the low side. But there still could be some upper level winds available for some brief spin-ups. We're going to keep watching this as we get closer to the weekend. But that's all I have for Weather Extra for tonight. Be sure to tune back in tomorrow. We'll have more information for you as well while David is still on assignment. Until then, have a great night.